remember when we were kids and he first started getting interested in the guitar, and he would like be in his bedroom playing the guitar when he was supposed to be doing homework, and then I'd kind of be a lookout and tell him when my parents would come in so he could hide it and put it away and do his homework, because that was what he was mainly interested in.
As a kid, I wanted to be George Harrison, and then soon wanted to become Jimi Hendrix, and right on down the line from there.
In high school, it was definitely, that was like the biggest conflict he had with my parents over trying to, you know, them wanting him to focus on school and him wanting to play gigs on a school night or something like that.
I went to Loyola College of Music, and there was a guitar teacher named Richard Green who was real influential, and also a composition teacher named Patrick McCarty. And both of them were really sort of like father and grandfather figures for me. I learned quite a bit from them.
When I first knew Jimmy, it was at Delgado, and I had never heard him play with his groups, any of his groups. I didn't really know anything about him. This is how he was. He was very quiet and very shy, and he had his long hair pulled back in a ponytail, and sometimes you'd see him playing flute. And so this is the image I had of him. And they had a performance at Delgado, and his band played, and there he is on stage with his hair out to here, the same long hair, playing guitar, electric guitar, and singing, and he was just wild. I mean, the way he moved around, and he was great. But I was like a whole different person than the one I had seen. I'm the keyboard player in his band, Woodenhead, and I have known him since the early 70s.
And I started playing with a bunch of different bands over the years and did that for quite a while, always working on solo material. And finally, after years and years of doing that, had amassed some solo material.
Up next, we've got Woodenhead. Let's give him a big welcome.
We still play together, but Woodenhead isn't playing very much right now. But we're talking about playing and recording.
One thing that he did that was really cool is he's the first guy in New Orleans to really set up a warehouse with rental space for bands to have rehearsal spaces, which is really kind of cool and before his time. Now, there's been some other people have done that afterwards, but I think he started this in the early 80s, and it gave people an opportunity to rent a little space, very reasonable rates, where bands, because rehearsal space is pretty critical to bands, and there's always been a shortage of it, and that was kind of a cool innovation on his part, and it helped a lot of bands out.
He's really got his own unique sound, whether it's playing solo, or the music he writes in Woodenhead, or the stuff he does with Twangorama, that's his.
It's funny, I had a friend named Doug Greon, who was in a band called Ice Nine back in the 80s, and his band was on the same bill as Woodenhead. He goes, God, I'm so nervous I gotta play, and Jimmy Robinson's following me.
And because all of those songs too are just, they're telling stories, and they're true stories. You know, there's something from his life or something from after Katrina. You know, we all were evacuated together and spent a lot of time together and going through all that, you know, so it kind of all really rings true. Like the one about his childhood friend that, you know, kind of never grew up and died prematurely.
You've got to fall down before you can crawl. It's a joke you always used to tell. No matter how much hard rain fell, you would always lay back and float away. Wish I knew those were your...
Yeah, I did a lot more solo work there because I was solo, and there was a lot of help from the Memphis music community for people from New Orleans. They really opened their arms and gave us a lot of work, and that really helped to push the solo career thing for me. It made me really realize that I could do it by myself, which was a nice feeling.
I like his latest CD a lot because he sings on it, and he used to not, you know, sing very much, and I think all of those songs are just wonderful.
It's a good time for music because there's a lot of variety, and there's a lot of crossover genres, which is real healthy, I think, for the scene.
You know, it's funny, guys with monster talent like that tend to have the least egos. It's the marginal players that have the big egos and are the problems, but he's just a great guy, and extremely, extremely well respected among great musicians in this city.
Just very nice, very sincere, real dedicated.
But he's a real funny guy. He's very funny, no matter how serious he might look to anybody else. When we're on the road or we're just going to a gig or something, he is hilarious. He makes everything funny.
Hi, Mom. All right.